there everyone, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for another video. I'm going to be showcasing another Simon Says STAMPtember exclusive, and this one is with Memory Box. I used the new Beautiful Moments stamp set to create a very fall-like background that is going to go behind a shaker card. I really loved the florals in this set, and even though they reminded me of poinsettias, I wanted to use them for more of a fall feel, which I think is really fun because it shows you that you can take different stamp sets, even if they are meant for a specific season, and translate them into either another season or another theme completely. So this is the stamp set. I have it on my desk here, and we're going to use the image in the top left. I also pulled in one of the little pine branches to add some accents later, and I'll show you how I did that. So I have my card base here. This is a Simon Says Stamp side folding card base. I have it mounted inside of my MISTI tool, and I'm going to start stamping the background with a variety of Simon Says Stamp positively saturated inks. All the ink colors that I use today, along with all the other supplies, are listed below in the video description or over on my blog, so be sure to check that out if you're curious about anything. I'm just basically picking out different colors of fall-like inks, and I'm stamping this main image from the stamp set with those inks in basically trios of colors. So we're creating these really nice custom blends across our stamps by using the inks. Now you'll notice as I transition between each ink color, I'm feathering out the color before I stamp it with my blending brush, and that's going to help me get a better blend as I stamp with the next color. So here, for instance, I did purple, blended it out with my blending brush, added orange, blended that out, and then used yellow for the final color. The ink blending is an extra step, but it's what makes the transitions so clean and simple, and it creates a really pretty effect. Now this background looks cool all on itself, but I'm going to soften things up a bit by adding some ink blending with those same colors over top different areas. Now I tried to keep most of the colors generally in the same area as where the stamping was. So for instance, when I stamped the purple, I ink blended with the purple over top of that. But in some areas, I let the colors overlap a bit, and so that created new colors. And so I got this really pretty fall background. It's very dusty feeling. It has that nice, warm, rich tone that fall colors have. I wanted to throw in a few more branches with that little pine needle stamp that's in the stamp set. So I used those same colors throughout the card to stamp the pine needle image throughout the background. Just a few here and there. I'm going to pull out some of Tim Holtz's new mica stains. These are so cool for the fall colors. I really love these. I'm using them to splatter onto my background. I used 3 different colors. I used Decayed, Burning Ember, and Fortune Teller. And those 3 colors worked really well with the colors that I used from Simon's Positively Saturated ink line. While that's drying, I'm going to work on stamping on top of a piece of clear acetate from Simon Says Stamp. My plan with this card is to turn it into a traditional shaker card, so I need a clear window for the shaker. But I wanted to stamp a sentiment on it, and Simon Says Stamp's acetate is heat safe, so you can heat emboss on it. Now I do recommend using a powder tool prior to stamping and then also tapping really hard to get any excess powder off of your acetate. Sometimes the acetate has a tendency to want to attract the powder and make it stick, kind of basically from the static. So make sure you tap it off really well, but it's going to give you a really nice clean embossed sentiment. And then I'm going to use that behind this arched window. I used one of Simon Says Stamp's arched dies to create that window in an A2 card panel. So I'm going to put redline tape around the back side of that card panel that has the arched window cut out of it. Redline tape is super strong, so it's going to hold on to that plastic really, really well. And I just used my Simon Says Stamp non-stick scissors to go ahead and cut the tape. These scissors are not only good for fussy cutting, but I really love how well they work with adhesive. The adhesive does not stick to the blades. So I'll remove the release paper from that adhesive and then just lay this arched window right on top of my clear acetate that has the sentiment embossed on it. The Simon Says Stamp acetate doesn't even warp when you emboss on it. It's really good, high quality, and super safe for embossing. Now my arched window looks beautiful, but I thought I would add a frame. So I took the arched die that I used to create the window, plus then the next sized arch up from the size that I had used in this die set. I'm going to use those 2 together, tape them with some very, very low tack tape, and create a frame. So when these two are taped together, they're going to create a perfectly uniform frame that I can then layer on top of my arched shaker window. So here it is. I die cut it from some gold cardstock from Simon Says Stamp, and then I'm just going to go ahead and glue this right on top of my panel. So now this frames out that beautiful shaker area really, really well. On the back side of this piece, I'm going to add some foam tape because, of course, we need to make a shaker well so that the sequins have a place to shake around in. So I'm just going to use some Simon Says Stamp foam tape to make a well around the outer edges of this panel. I'll make sure the foam tape is butted up right up against each other so that the sequins can't fall through. And then I'll use this really nice mix that is perfect color combination with these colors that I used for the inks. And I'll just go ahead and put those into the center of my card so that I can lay my window right on top and trap those sequins inside. So now I have this really elegant shaker card that looks so pretty, and that gold embossed greeting is just the perfect accent on top. I could have left it the way it was, but I always like to go a step further. So I'm going to pull out this new die set from Simon Says Stamp and Memory Box. And I'm going to use these dies to create a beautiful color combination that is very much the same colors that I used on my background. So I'm ink blending on top of these die cuts that were cut from some Simon Says Stamp white cardstock, and that's giving me these really nice fall colors that are going to look beautiful framing around our sentiment and the shaker window. So I used all those different inks that I had used to stamp on top of that background panel that is behind my shaker, and this is going to match perfectly. These dies, by the way, are from the ETCHED Meadow Flower and Leaves die set. This is a newer die set from Simon. It's really pretty. Memory Box did design this for Simon Says Stamp. So to glue these down, I'm just using some Simon Says Stamp Craft Tacky Glue, and I'm tucking them around the top right and then the bottom left corners of this shaker window. And that's going to frame up the gold frame nicely. It's going to give that nice pop of color on the outside edges, and it just finishes everything off well. Now I did decide to add one more bit of embellishing after gluing all these leaves, and that's because Memory Box has some gorgeous embellishments. One of my favorites are their fairy drops. They have these really pretty clear droplets that you can put on top of your projects. They already have adhesive on them, and I'm just using some of those to go ahead and attach onto my shaker here, just in and around the leaves. I just love how that added just a nice finishing touch, and the colors worked really well with the colors on my card too. So there you have it, a very simple but super elegant fall shaker card using the new Memory Box exclusive STAMPtember set from Simon Says Stamp. If you're interested in this set, be sure to grab it while you can. As with all of the STAMPtember collaboration sets, this is only available while supplies last. So if you really like it, you're going to definitely want to go ahead and grab it while you can. Links to all that are below in the video description. I thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed and were inspired by the project that I shared. I can't wait to come back more and give you additional ideas on what you can do with these Simon Says Stamp exclusive collaboration sets. Thanks again, friends. I will be back soon, but until then, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!